So how are we going to do this?
We can just get right into it and get the conversation going.
You know, I agree. I actually agree with you.
Okay, Chuks, Teri and I are going to be sharing how we interacted with the government and local communities as PIND worked to make a difference in the 9 Niger Delta states.
This is part of our activities to commemorate our 10-year anniversary and the successes we've recorded in the Niger Delta.
And while we've had such great impacts, you know, a lot of our work wasn't smooth sailing. And we're going to be sharing some of these stories with you of how we've contributed to the growth, to the development and stability of the region that we call home. You know, so I'm going to be asking some of the questions first. Is that okay?
Yes, please, go right ahead.
So I'd like to know, what are some of the most tasking interactions you've had with government officials?
Such an interesting story. It was all about coordinating government officials within different government departments to agree on an agenda of work that we needed to do. That was quite tasking because they couldn't agree, and we find it very difficult to have a mindset that articulates what we were trying to achieve within government. And now you, Teri, go ahead.
I have so many of these stories from my experience and years of working. Where do I start from? Which one? Which ones do I tell? Okay. So I think one of my most tasking experiences or interactions working with government officials is navigating the bureaucratic processes within the civil service.
Beyond the government, however, our interaction with the communities where our economic development centers are located. This brings us to the next question.
Oh, this reminds me of a story too. I remember way back in 2013 when I first started working with PIND, and came into work one morning, and of course the youth of the community had shut our gate. This did not just happen only in Warri, it also happened in Port Harcourt as well. And what did we do? Or what did I do at that particular time? As an organization, of course, an NGO, our key is to ensure that we're communicating properly with, the communities that we're actually working. So it was a lot of engagement with the youth and, of course, with the elders. You can't just work with the youth without the elders. The elders have to actually have a proper say, in everything that you do. But first of all, the youth will come forward and, being brash and wanting to be sometimes unnecessarily aggressive. But, good communication will calm them down. So I engaged with them, came down to their level, spoke the language that they understood, didn't use any particular big words, spoke Pidgin English when it was needed, spoke Ishekiri when it was needed, went to River State and spoke a little bit of the dialect there when it was needed, just to engage with them, properly. It made it really quite interesting and possible to actually allow them to see the impact that we're actually making in the community. So we're adding value, really. We're adding value to your community. We're bringing, economic developments and, peaceful livelihood. We're, creating a lot of enabling environment. The community, is creating a lot of enabling environment for us. We're creating that, So it was a lot of that kind of engagement and allowing them to see the value we're actually adding to the community that was actually key. How would you say PIND learned from these situations and adapted to the status quo?
One of the strategies that I think that PIN that we adopted in PIN is extensive engagements of all relevant stakeholders. Another approach that we adopt, when working with government, that has also contributed greatly to our success is identifying a champion within the government. I know this might sound like common knowledge, everybody knows that, but it is really not as easy as it sounds on paper.
I quite agree with you, Teri. PIN has incredible ability to adapt and influence it within government because of its approach. Quite often when PIN goes into government, it takes a two-pronged approach. One is to look at the political aspect of government, and the other is the civil service.
PIN's success is largely due to the acceptance of our models, by key stakeholders in the region.
Getting their buy-in was as important as the ideas to facilitate peace and development in the Niger Delta region.
So while our models are demonstrable, tried, tested, proven, and working, they would have been sort of useless if the governments and the communities have not accepted them.
So getting them on board was hard in many instances, but it was worth the effort to be accepted and see that our models were working in the regions.
This is a story we are really proud to tell. This is our story of resilience.
So, I'm really excited now because as we celebrate 10 years of doing this work, this development work in the region, we're excited, we're proud that we didn't give up. We didn't get frustrated, that we kept on going, So we can't wait really to see what the next 10 years would hold, would offer.
We're inviting you to be a part of our 10th anniversary celebration of making a difference in the Niger Delta.
Please follow us across social media at PIN Foundation and be sure to visit our dedicated anniversary page. The link is right here on the screen.
And share this information with your friends, your family, and everyone else in your close circle.
Let us celebrate PIN's 10 years of making a difference in the Niger Delta.
Let us celebrate PIN's 10 years of making a difference in the Niger Delta.